Hi, my name is Rick Clement and I will be demonstrating how I carve a low relief stone sculpture. I will be using a hammer and chisels. Most of the work will be done with the pointed chisel, but I will also be using the flat chisel as well. Once I'm done carving with the chisels, I will use this file called a riffler file to begin to smooth it out. And finally, to get it a little bit polished up, I'll use some wet or dry sandpaper. I also have a dust mask and goggles that I use, as well as some rubber gloves. I have some charcoal and a straight edge just to do a little bit of markings and a light sketch on the stone. And I have this wooden jig here that holds the small marble tile that I'll be carving in place. Just a simple jig made with 3 pieces of wood. And that will hold the marble in place there. You're using techniques and ideas from drawing and from sculpture, combining them together and creating this illusion. I've drawn some lines where I'm going to begin to carve down the stone. And the technique that I'm using here is that I'm going to be cross-hatching with my pointed chisel to bring the areas down. Something I want to pay attention to is that this is actually the highest point of the stone, as well as, of course, the top of the sphere here, which is the eye. So I'm going to carve this line up here, and I'm going to just kind of leave it right there. Just kind of leave that area, that high point. I'm not going to quite carve all the way to that high point there. So I'll just lighten up, lighten up, lighten up. So you kind of lighten up there. Coming this way, light, 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 and then kind of start carving it down a little bit more over here. And we may even work a little bit of this more like a contour drawing too. Maybe when we come in here and do this part of the stone, instead of cross-hatching straight across and back, because it's such a small area, maybe we'll go ahead and cross-hatch like in a more of a contour fashion. And we will lighten up when we get here, leave that as a high point, and work this down when we get down here, where we're going to have a little bit of a deeper depth on the stone. So see what we're going to do. We're going to do kind of a lot like a drawing. We're going to get a contour going there. Although we're using references from the figure, drawing, engraving, all artworks are really an illusion, so that you also want to emphasize certain areas, and those areas on the engraving are going to be the high points and the low points. You can see that I've been working down the depth in the corners and inside of the eyeball socket here to really try to give it a sense of depth, create an illusion of depth, when really we're working on a very flat piece of stone here. I've now gotten deep enough where I don't want to go too much deeper. I'm going to just be refining the stone a bit more with the pointed chisel, and then I'm going to go ahead and work with the flat chisel to switch over to my file. This is a special file. It's called a Riffler, and I'll begin to smooth the stone out a little bit more. I've been filing the stone down now for a while with the Riffler file, and you can see how I've been working to round out the forms. So this is a piece of wet or dry sandpaper right here, and basically I just want to work wet. I've got a spray bottle. Even when I'm sanding the stone, I'm carving the stone. Hi, I've now completed the low relief stone carving of the figure of an eye in the marble tile. And something that I'd like to show you is how interesting it looks if you put it up against the light. And you can see how this is such a thin piece of marble that the light will actually shine right through it and create this translucent effect, which is really nice. Although that's not really the intention of carving it, it's kind of neat to see. I'll probably just put this in a small frame, a small wooden frame, and hang it on the wall. And I will enjoy it. Of course, I'll need to add a light because the lighting is so important with these stones. And I hope that you enjoyed the demonstration, and you will join me for other demonstrations in the future. Thanks so much.